Welcome everybody to our July Collinsville Township Board meeting. Clerk Wolf, roll call.
Trustee Prosser?
Here.
Trustee Crow?
Here.
Trustee Ball is absent tonight. Trustee Sewell?
Yep.
Supervisor Cox?
Here. All right, we have a quorum. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to recognize our Highway and Roads Commissioner, Kathy Turcano-Holscher. She's actually in the TOI Perspective magazine. She was named to the Township Officials of Illinois for the Board of Directors representing the Highway Commissioners. So it's a pretty big deal. Congratulations, Kathy, and yeah. So big deal for Collinsville Township for you to be on that board. So congratulations again. We'll move to public comment. Feel free to step to the podium. You have up to 5 minutes.
That's a great segue, because that's what I'm here for.
All right.
Robbie Dorman. I came up here to talk about Kathy and her team. Fantastic job on Pat Drive. Unbelievable. My neighbors all asked me to come up here and talk because they know I took meetings like this. You may not know it, but they paid Pat Drive in 3 days' time maybe, and then came back and fixed all the driveways. They just did an outstanding job. And also I was told to pass along that the people were polite, that the neighbors talked to them and stuff. So I wanted to tell you that. And then you also know they pick up limbs second Monday of every week, and every time you call to tell them you got limbs, Jennifer picks up and says, okay, you're on the list. And I know you have on your report that you had, I think, 335 people dropped off limbs.
They drop off yard waste.
Yeah, but it doesn't say how many houses or, addresses you go
No,
to.
we just count cars.
Yeah, well, I know, but I mean, whenever you go out and pick them up.
Right.
So that might be useful. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. You do a fantastic job. So I'm glad that she's recognized, and that's why I came here tonight, specifically to brag about you. So thank you.
Good evening. I'm Colin Davis. My wife and I have lived in Collinsville Township for 18 years, and I got a couple questions on my taxes.
And you can move that mic if you need to. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Okay. There's a couple questions on here. I pay into Collinsville Road is one of the taxes. I pay into Collinsville number 10, Collinsville Township, Collinsville Area Recreation, and our roads are not taken care of. I live in a area that it's a fine line. It's Amioke, it's Collinsville, it's controlled by Pontoon Beach, and for 18 years, no one has repaired our roads. We pay for them, and we fix them and tar and chip each street. I live on Dublin Drive out behind Arlington, behind the golf course, way in the back, on the dead-end road back there. So, these taxes went up roughly $1,000 in the last 2 years, and we have no street lights, no sidewalks, no sewers. We pay into Metro East Sanitary. I'm not sure how that plays into it, but the only thing we have out there is water and electricity. So everything else is on us. I'm just kind of curious of why we pay in so much for the roads and they're never touched.
Okay. If you could, you don't have to say it out loud, but if you wouldn't mind, write your address down and maybe give it to Kathy, and then perhaps Kathy, you could help answer or whatnot.
Can I give her this copy of my taxes and?
I can answer it right now.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
It's a state law that you pay into road taxes. I don't make the law, the state does. The other part of it is you are not in the unincorporated area, Collinsville Township. That is all we maintain. We don't maintain anything outside the unincorporated area. And you're in Pontoon Beach.
So is that on Pontoon Beach, the
Yeah,
city?
they won't take care of it, but they say it's a private lane, so that's all I know.
Can
I
I
deal
add
with
to that? When I first ran, I know Rich Franklin lives down there too.
2 doors down.
So
Yes.
him and I looked into it, and I got in contact with the people in Pontoon Beach. And I was told, because it started out as a private road, it cannot be publicly maintained. That's what they told me in Pontoon.
Right. It is a private road.
But what I would suggest, if it is Pontoon Beach, and I know it's confusing because it's right there on the border, I would go to Pontoon Beach and ask them and see what their answer is. You can call me too personally, and I can try to get to the bottom of it, but I understand about the taxes. Why are you paying these taxes if your roads aren't, and it is a bit confusing.
We know now that people can secede from Collinsville Township into a different governmental body. You may have to incorporate into Pontoon Beach.
Yeah.
Make it not a private drive.
Well, Pontoon Beach isn't gonna take care of it. In fact, before Pagano was in there, Mayor
You're
Denham
not
was in
alone.
there.
There's some roads out here on the fringe for
That's
Jasper
same thing.
Township, same thing.
Right, so,
They push the snow plow right up to, and then they stop, and then there's like 5 houses all in a row that they have to plow it themselves.
yeah, there's 14 houses on my street, but
Yeah.
there's other
Wow.
streets getting to
You're
it.
not alone with
And then we have
this
farm
situation.
fields where the snow comes across and drifts, so.
By the way, Kathy is our roads commissioner, and that's why,
Okay.
I let her,
I
when it's.
mean, I don't, like I said, it's a private road, so I have no jurisdiction, and I also legally cannot work on a private road.
Cause she has to leave our township to go into, around to, isn't that part of the?
We have
you-
Sandy Shore and a little bit.
Well, you can't leave Collinsville Township and drive around through another district to go service that, can you? Is that legal?
What do you mean
is-
research?
Well,
It's not getting there, it's just that she's not, that's not our jurisdiction.
Unfortunately, I'm not responsible for it.
yeah, I've looked into this, I looked into
I
that
understand
too.
your
two,
frustration, because I would be too.
two elections ago.
But if you
and
wouldn't
that's-
mind, just make sure that I get your address, and
Okay.
I'll
We'll see what
personally
we
make
can
a
do.
phone
I don't
call
know.
down there and just see for myself what they say.
Namioki Township stops up on
Can
the
you?
corner,
I-
2
yeah, I
doors
can call
down,
them, but I
at
have-
Crestwoods. And, they used to, Namioki would sneak down the road and stop on that corner and sometimes plow the snow years ago. But the end street never got it, so, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
if we can get that address, then Kathy said she would call, she's got, a little bit of clout.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
Love to help you out.
Sorry
All
about
right,
that.
appreciate it.
If we can.
Yeah.
Rachel Dye, there we go. Is this on? I got, yeah, there we go. Rachel Dye, Collinsville. Congrats Kathy on the TOI thing. I know she's one of the board members really involved with that, not board members, township staff involved, so that's pretty cool. So, I'm gonna read this and then I have questions I will give you copies of because they weren't answered last month and I'd like to hear your perspectives on them. Township decisions about assistance, services, and public resources do not occur in a historical vacuum. For generations, poverty policy has been shaped by narratives that divide people into the deserving and undeserving poor. Ideas that have often been intertwined with racism, oligarchy, and which have found footholds in conservative movements and Christian nationalism. Historically, public assistance has too often been based on moral judgment rather than need. These assumptions influence eligibility rules, documentation requirements, investigations, and the discretion given to decision makers. The belief that poverty is primarily the result of poor personal choices gained traction during the 1970s and 1980s, mainly through political messaging. However, decades of research have shown that poverty is strongly driven by structural factors, including but not limited to deindustrialization, wage stagnation, rising house costs, and increasing healthcare and childcare expenses. While personal choices matter, economic conditions remain the strongest predictors of who experiences poverty and how long it lasts. Racism has also been deeply connected to poverty in America. Redlining, unequal school funding, discriminatory lending, barriers to building wealth, unequal healthcare access, environmental injustice, disparities throughout the criminal justice system, and voter suppression have created generational inequities that continue today. And obviously these are just a few. Despite this evidence, some township board members continue to dismiss these realities. They fail to consistently promote general assistance services, eliminate positions or cut them down that support those services, and decline opportunities to educate themselves about the communities they serve. The public deserves better. We deserve a township that makes general assistance a central priority, as Illinois township government was designed to do. We deserve a board that treats every resident with dignity and respect and is willing to learn and answer difficult questions honestly. If a board member cannot fairly and equitably serve every member of this community, they should step aside. Public service requires, at minimum, a commitment to facts, critical thinking, and empathy. Last month, I asked 3 questions that went unanswered by every single board member, and I'll ask Clint when he's back next month. Today, I am asking them again and providing each board member with a printed copy. Please answer these questions so the public knows where you stand. And all I have left is to read the 3 questions. I think one's a yes or no, the other you might have a little bit more to say. 1, the supervisor has publicly compared people experiencing poverty to animals and stated they will keep coming back the more you feed them. While expressing similar views online, simply do you agree with those statements? Number 2, how can a public official fairly make decisions about programs serving people experiencing poverty if they believe those individuals are irresponsible, undeserving, or less worthy of assistance? And don't tell me you don't believe that, because all your actions and words consistently point to that view. 3, how can a leader effectively represent all constituents if they promote false narratives or express views that cause racial, ethnic, or religious harm? Margot, your racism is well documented. I know you don't believe it's that, but it is. I'm open to talking about not board stuff, like trustee stuff, but if you want to unpack that a little bit more, if you're open to it, I haven't seen the openness, but if you're wanting to, I mean, I can, or I can refer some resources if you want to explore it further on yourself to be like, why is she saying that when she's up here? But that's all I have. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jeannie Lomax, and I've spoken the last few meetings about the assessor's office and the fact that there was an employee that had not been at work for 2.5 years, receiving about $5,000 paycheck monthly, 2.5 years racked up $189,000, paid for by the taxpayers, done FOIAs.
Hold on. I had a complaint last meeting. I'm gonna ask this group here, please stop talking while the meeting's going on. If you wanna talk, you can. I can't stop you from talking. You can step outside.
Is that gonna apply to everybody equally?
That does,
Okay,
that does.
Because it hasn't.
That,
so
well, I'm telling you now, it
Okay, that's
does.
cool. That's
Got it?
cool. That's totally fair.
Okay. I've done FOIAs, there's no email, work-related emails that happened after August of 2023. So my question is, once again, to the board, have you guys talked to Pete Paletti to find out what this employee has done? I did another FOIA asking for what work was done in this 2.5 years, and the response I got was there was no records kept. So I have asked for time slips. My processor said that I could get time slips. There are no time slips. My FOIA revealed that there are no time slips.
Do they have time cards, time paper
No,
or something?
nothing. So my question is, I mean, as a taxpayer, our tax bill, our first installment is due tomorrow. I paid mine today. It's painful because my taxes go up every single year. They go up a lot every single year. And so the taxpayers want to make sure that they're getting, what they're paying for. So the contract says 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. Okay, and I want to make sure that this is what is being done, because I don't think this has happened in the past. I think with 7 employees, there's not much to do in that assessor's office on a day-to-day basis. We had 7 employees. One of them never showed up to work and was paid by the taxpayers $189,000 over. I mean, there's a lot of people that would like a sweet paying job like that. Full benefits, even the deductibles of their medical benefits were paid. And, I mean, you don't get that in the private sector, only in the government sector, and that's because there's such a big pot of money taken from the taxpayers who pay this. So, we the taxpayers are paying attention to elected officials that are actual friends of the taxpayers. So, I mean, we are actually really paying attention to who is willing to spend our money in the most efficient manner. Spend it like you'd spend your own money, not like you're spending somebody else's money. You go out to dinner with somebody else, I mean, I don't, but a lot of people will say, yeah, I'll take that, $30 steak. That's not what you would do if you're paying for it yourself. So, and the other thing that I wanted to mention was I came up for the 250 event that they had on July 3rd. What a wonderful event. What a wonderful patriotic event. This whole room was filled, and it was just a wonderful event. And I thought to myself, I hear so much negativity coming towards our supervisor, and he has done so many things that has actually enriched this community. The parking lot out here, the Volkswagen, trips for the seniors. I mean, these are things that I don't know that any other township really provides. So I want to say kudos because that was a really nice event. There were prizes, people were willing, I mean, they were playing games, they were having a lot of fun, food was great. It was a really great atmosphere. So I want to tell you thank you for that. So, thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone else? Okay. I'll try to answer and reply to everybody that I have written here. And again, I'm very proud. I've been asked before, maybe we shouldn't reply to the comments. Maybe it'd just be better. But this is one of the only meetings you can go to that we're very transparent. You can ask me anything. You can call me during the month. You can email me. Any questions you have, I'm an open book. As far as this township and general assistance, I am very, very proud of the job that we do on general assistance. I have laid it out many of times that we are doing more than everyone else. But then we get accused of the opposite, and I just don't know. And it's just like it was brought up at the last meeting about federal stuff. Maybe we should have a memo of understanding. Rachel, how about this? Understanding somebody doesn't mean that you agree.
Yeah.
You have your viewpoint and I have mine. We agree. Hold on, I let you speak. I let you speak. Rachel, I let you speak. I'm speaking now. That has to be an understanding too. You speak and I speak. So what I'm saying is that your way might not be wrong, all right? And my way might not be wrong. What I'm saying is, though, your way, what you want to do, to my understanding, in your group and stuff, is you want to tax the people, okay? And then you want to assist as many people as we can. Rachel, you got to let me speak. No, I'm not.
You are. I have never once
Okay,
ever said
you're
that.
on warning. You're on warning. I'm not going to answer your question then. If I'm not going to answer your question, I'm not. Okay, just speak one more and you're out.
I never said that, Derek.
Rachel, I'm saying and I'm. Good.
Have you ever heard me say anything
Rachel,
about taxes?
please leave.
I'm asking
Leave.
you to-
I can't go on. I'm asking you to leave.
Hold on, but you just said I can't
I'm
ask
not
questions.
moving on until you leave.
But
We
I'm
can sit
just-
here all night.
You just said,
Rachel,
you just said I
I'm
can't-
asking you to leave.
Okay, so were you lying about me being able to ask? a
Rachel,
question?
I'm asking you to leave. That's what I'm asking you to do.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Got it?
Derek, you lie up
I
there.
asked you
People have
3
never said
times.
these things online. They
Either
don't-
you can sit there and be
don't
quiet.
get me mad, but he's telling you things that I have never said, that people have never said.
Rachel, you won't give anybody a chance to answer your question.
You said I could ask a question, then you didn't answer it. And Derek, yeah, I do get tired of hearing lies up there over and
Rachel.
over again. So it's all good, man.
Yep, good. Okay, we can give answers. If you don't like them, that's just difference of opinion. That doesn't mean that somebody's lying. It's difference of opinion. And how it works is that I'm doing the job that I was elected to do. And I'm following the law. We are not giving out taxpayers' money, hardworking taxpayers' money, to just any willy-nilly person that wants to come in there, and then if they don't get it, call somebody a racist. That's not what we're doing. I'm here to be a gatekeeper to make sure that that money goes to the correct people, okay? To the people that truly deserve it. And that, not so much deserve it, I misstate that, who qualify, okay, under the law, who qualify under the law. As far as taxes, it was brought up, and we have some new folks here. I want you to know, I got my tax bill too, and I was freaking livid, okay, because they continue to go up, and this is unsustainable. I have said it over and over and over again. What happens is, again, the school district, I'll call them out right now. They're the biggest one. 70% of our tax bill goes to the school district. They find out what our multiplier is, they call the county, and then they raise their tax levy to whatever that multiplier is. And over the last 2 years, all of a sudden, 2.5 years, they're getting $30 million more money. That's got to stop. But it's up to the voters, okay? That's the same point that I'm making on the other. I ran on lowest taxes and the best service. And that's what I'm going to do for the next 3 years. All right, and then after that, then their group can run, and if you want to run on higher taxes and whatever, then run on that. And if that group wins, then they get to do what they want to do. It's just different ideas, okay? But I'm doing what I ran on. As far as friends to the taxpayers, again, we found out what was going on in the assessor's office about this employee that we asked to retire that had not been to work. We voted 3-2 to reduce the budget. Pete, just hang on, you're gonna have your turn. Pete, you're gonna have your turn. All right, what I'm saying is, we lowered the budget and we are now saving the taxpayers over, what, $300,000 a year, okay? Just in that one office. And I'm also doing it, we've done it at every single office, at the road district and at my office as well. We've lowered the tax levies. The tax levy is lower now than when I started 6 years ago. It is, and we've done a great job. And so I'm proud of the job that the township is doing. And again, I will just say, what happens is it is easy to just hire as many people as you want and spend as much money as you want. That's the easy thing. Then nobody gripes. Just the taxpayers, and then you can be like some other municipalities and just ignore them, and then you just get to the next election. The hard thing is doing the right thing. It's hard. And so I appreciate those who actually realize that and come and speak up. So I think that's all I have on the comments. Anything else? Okay, move on to old business. Okay, the Senior Center Generator Grant. This has been going on for now over a year and a half. Online, misinformation, and it keeps coming up because there's a group that wants this facility to be a homeless shelter, okay? I am not against a homeless shelter. I am not against anything like that. There are facilities in Collinsville, okay, that would like to do that. I'm asking these folks to reach out to those people and see what they would want to do. But this was FOIA'd, and this is the first I seen it. So it was been told online and in this meeting that because we got a grant for the generator in 2011, it was applied for in 2010. All right, this is well before me. That this grant then made it where we had to be a homeless shelter, or overnight warming center, overnight warming center, okay? And I was like, well, I just don't think so. This grant, okay, I will just read it here. It was filled out by the old supervisor, two before me, Terry Allen. And I'll read it verbatim. It says, the backup generator for use of the senior center when the power fails is needed for heating and cooling at the center as an emergency shelter in Collinsville and is ADA accessible. This goes along with all the activities at the senior center, including being a polling place for 2 precincts to be used at the Collinsville Township Senior Citizen Center, 420 East Main, Collinsville. Then it goes on in another part of this. Due to an unplanned power failure, this is a necessity because the center is used for senior activities on a daily basis and is used by various community groups, hall rentals, and by the county as a polling place for all elections. Nowhere in here, I don't want to see it online and this big conversation on how we are mandated to be an overnight warming center that was never in the grant, and the grant, it was only good for 4 years that we had to abide by what is in the grant, okay? If that wasn't being abided by, that'd have been 2015. That was still well before I was even a trustee. But it's my fault that, so again, I ran on making this place great and providing a great service for seniors and for people who need it. We have 30 free meals that we do, sometimes on a daily basis. If they show up, they show up. 30 hot homemade meals. That is assistance. All right? Don't get any credit for that. We get hate from some people about the Collinsville Senior Center. I don't get it. I get seniors coming up to me constantly asking, why are they saying this? And I go, I don't know. It's a handful of them. So anyway, do we have any questions? Because I thought this was appropriate to bring this up so we could put it to bed.
Yeah.
Yes. No questions?
No, it's pretty outlined right
Yeah.
there.
I know we have talked about, because even the city, and
Yes.
we're talking not a warming session, nothing. Let us say that power went out.
Correct.
We've talked about this through the city.
Yeah.
The water plant's got one, wastewater, they have places that somebody, if we had no power in the town, people at least get there, get organized, and move on. It's not staying there for hours, just have water, charge their phones, or get with
Correct.
their family. And something like that, I think, would be fine, if we needed it.
I want that.
Yes,
I
I mean,
absolutely.
that would be something that we could be organized with the cities around us. Maryville, everybody has talked about that, having what I call the hot spot. It's a place you can get there, because it's got power, and then they can just move on. So that's the only thing I would suggest, that we can get more involved in that if needed.
Aren't we already?
Well, we already are, but I think what maybe you're going to, and I would agree, and maybe I'll reach out with Derek, the city manager, and get that out to the public, if in case
Yes.
your power goes out and you need a place
And it's in
to
a big
plug in your
area.
phone or
Yeah.
whatever to stay warm, that people know that this is, like you say, a
Right.
hot spot or a
Yeah,
meeting
a
spot.
hot spot, meeting spot. Also, we can have information for them to, let's say, hey, 159 is blocked off, you can't go that way, you gotta hit 157. It'd just be an area for information for them to figure out how to get home.
Right,
or
because
going to
it
their town.
happened, I guess it was last year or the year before, power went out. I came up here, made sure all the doors were open, I hung out all day. It was during the weekend. And so what I was going to say is, I was trying to get a message out on Facebook, but even the internet was down.
Right.
And so it is hard to get that
Yeah,
message
So if
out.
we can keep with the city, like, so get with Derek,
Mhm.
and then at least have that, so we can have that information. I think it'd be a good idea for us to have that open for us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I'll get with them and I'll report back next month.
Thank you.
Okay? All right. Moving on then, on the agenda.
New business.
New business, thank you, Brad. Okay. New business, appointment of Cheryl Hannon as the FOIA officer. And I understand, Linda, that she took her training, correct? And Cheryl is a part of the assessor's office, so we try to get a person in each office to be a FOIA officer, okay? So if there's a FOIA of that office, then they can handle that, okay? So I'll accept a motion.
I motion that we appoint Cheryl Hannon as the FOIA officer for the assessor's office. decided.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. If no other questions, roll call.
Trustee Sewell,
Yes.
trustee Prosser,
Yes.
trustee Crowl,
Yes.
supervisor Cox.
Yes. Okay, approval of the resolution 2026 R10 adopting a building and security policy. You have it there in front of you. I want to thank our attorney for spending a lot of time on this. I know that he looked up the law and then put a policy together. We didn't necessarily have to have one. The law is pretty clear, and I can have him explain it. But this became a problem really just in the last month. I didn't even know that there was a problem. But I've been locked out of half of the building, the assessor side of the building, and they have duct taped, I guess it's duct tape, I don't know what it is, but they've covered up the security cameras on that side. I asked them to give me a key so it doesn't cost anything to have the key, have it rekeyed. I was denied that. I asked them to, I know the attorney reached out. I think he tried to set up a meeting to uncover the camera. That was denied. And the reason that it is important, okay, is I'm in charge of everything that goes on. If somebody falls in here and then wants to sue the township, okay, which is, township is you, the taxpayers, okay, we need cameras to see what's going on. If something gets stolen, if there's a break-in, anything like that, security and safety. And I believe that having cameras is actually a deterrent for people doing something wrong as well.
Would we be the only governmental unity or agency in, let's say, Madison County that has cameras?
No, I'm very confident that each one has, and it's actually stopped. We had a gentleman come in just a month or so ago and claimed that while he was in there applying for general assistance, that his car got dented. Went to the camera and looked. Nope, that car was dented before he got there. You know, and so that saves the taxpayers money. And so, Bill, if you could just explain what we're doing here with this.
Yeah, so this is basically just codifying what the township code says about the different responsibilities in regards to the board, the supervisor, and any other elected officials as it comes to building maintenance, security, that type of thing. Like Derek said, this came about, I guess probably
A month ago.
well, that was when it was discovered the camera was covered up, but I guess, was it 6 months or so ago, the IT guy was in updating some cameras and moving things around, and at that point it was discovered that there was a camera in the assessor side of the office that apparently had been there for years and years and years. We didn't even know it was there. And he said, hey, I can turn that one back on or uncover it or whatever the story was there. So the camera's been placed there since before Derek was in office, and I guess it's been covered up. We directed him to say, no, uncover that, and it was uncovered for some period of time. Derek, in responding to a FOIA for video recently, went to the cameras and discovered, oh, wouldn't you know, it's covered up. We asked them to take it off, and we're basically told no. It is true that and I know sometimes different members of the board have trouble with this and understanding this, but the assessor is entitled to run his office how he wants to run his office. He's allowed to direct the work of his employees, all of that, and the board really doesn't get any say in that. You guys set the budget and that's it. But the building that he's in, that is township property. The security of the building, that falls under the township, not the assessor. The assessor can't own property. The township owns the property, and they provide office space, they supply supplies for him, they supply the budget for his staff, that type of thing. It's township property, and security is one of the basic things that the supervisor, maintenance of buildings is one of the things that the supervisor is responsible for. So this basically, so that there's no misunderstandings by any employees or elected officials or anyone associated with the township, this is basically just codifying what the township code already says. And laying out the respective roles for the township board, the supervisor, and the assessor as it relates to these things. And what it says is the township board can enact policies regarding security cameras or anything like that. The supervisor's job is basically to run the day-to-day of what the township board enacts. I don't even know when the security cameras went in, but they've been there for a while. So obviously it's been the intent to have security cameras covering the exterior and interior of all the different buildings. There's a camera in here, there's cameras on Derek's side in the office. I don't know if the pushback is that we're picking on the assessors or whatnot, but that camera's been there since before Derek was in office. And they're in the interior of other parts of the building. So the reality is, even if that were the case, it's the supervisor's job to determine the day-to-day security operations of the building and nobody else's. When this first came up, one of the first things we told him was just go over there and fix it. And that's when we discovered that he doesn't even have a key to that side of the building, which I was a little surprised by because, again, it's his responsibility as a supervisor of the township to make sure that the building is maintained and cared for. I've got to wonder, if something were to happen on that side of the building and we needed access, for whatever it may be, if a sprinkler head goes off or something, I don't know. There would be a lot of problems if Derek can't get in there and get access to it. But this is basically just laying out, you can read it, it's kind of lengthy, but basically it just says that the purpose of these cameras is for safety and security. It's not to spy on employees. That's actually in the union contract that you can't secretly evaluate the performance, and it's right there in the purpose and scope. Security cameras will not be used to secretly evaluate employee performance. They're used for the purposes of promoting public safety, protecting personnel, protecting personal and township property against vandalism or theft, and assisting in the investigation of incidents.
Is any of this custom to our township, or is this all like other units of government?
So I actually looked at a few different municipalities in Illinois that have security camera policies and kind of splice things, and it's not.
And like Bill said, even if, say if, I'm doing what they suspect I'm doing and I'm spying, I have no authority over anything, okay? This is just basic. If something happens in there, okay, and then they find out that, well, why was the camera covered up? Then it's on me, okay? So.
I gotta wonder what insurance would think about.
Right.
Derek has to get bonded as an elected official. He's the only elected official that needs to get bonded as a township official because he is responsible as a supervisor for township property and what happens to the assets of the township.
Right. And the reason, the key, I looked through the emails. Back in 2021, I was sent an email saying, I rekeyed the door, here's the fee, and I didn't have a key. I don't want to argue. I have tried over and over and over again, so I let it be. I want cameras in there because it's a protection for me and every single employee and everything. So it's all in here, and I urge Mr. Paletti to read this if it's passed, and I plan on changing things up by Friday. Okay. So, your question? Yes.
So, there's a lot to read through everything. Is there any way we can wait till next month since Clint's not here to make this deal?
No, it's on the agenda.
I know it's on the agenda, but it's at the last minute of trying to figure out what everything is.
Do you want me to read through it all?
Oh,
It's just 2 pages.
I've been reading it. So, again, I've got cameras on my house. I have no
Okay.
problems
Right.
agreeing with having cameras. I think they need to be there, but where are the cameras exactly pointed at? And the reason I'm asking that is that because if it is on paperwork or somebody coming in, there's the HIPAA law. So, I've talked to some HR people that I deal with that I know, and as long as the cameras are at the back doors, front door, hallways, parking lots, sidewalks, we're perfectly fine in doing that. But if it is on people's paperwork or, because you're gonna have private, I don't know where they're at exactly.
They're not.
Pointing. But if they're pointing on any of that kind of stuff, then we need to have them moved. And that's just,
So
If for any reason the cameras were pointed at something that was personal information, that would be subject to redaction if it were ever produced under a FOIA. That, I could tell you where the cameras are placed generally, they're not high quality.
Well,
They're good for telling generally who somebody is at a distance or whatever. They're not picking up, words on a piece of paper from 30 feet away.
And I don't know, like I said, my cameras I got at home, they're pretty cheap, but I could zoom in on a lot of things. And I'm just looking at us down the road, somebody comes in and says, hey, this is on the cameras and I have my, whatever, medical information, what I made a year. Is the cameras, and I don't know, because I haven't been in your, whatever,
But
seen.
nobody even has access to those cameras.
Do you know how easy it is to break into a camera system these days? I'm just saying, it don't take a hack, but it don't take much of a hack to do that. I mean, I'm just trying to I'm just looking at all the sides of this. Again, I have no problems. I think we should have cameras around everywhere. But where they're set at is where we need to be. When I put mine in, my guy says, don't put them in your garage, don't put them by your safe, don't do any of that, because if somebody does pick up that, they can see your equipment, you see what you got in your garage, blah, blah, blah. So, and I'm just thinking, where are they at? Not that they're gonna steal computers, but that's what I'm just looking at, where they're at.
So the other thing is, where it's at is where it was placed many years ago.
Okay,
At
and
some
again,
point, someone wired it and thought that was a good spot for it. Whether it is or isn't, I don't know. I mean, I would be open, and I think Derek would be open if there's a better spot for it.
Yeah, I mean.
We could talk about it, but I mean,
What it is, Mike, I'll just be straight up, he's, like that one there is in the corner, it picks up kind of the whole room.
Right.
Okay, same thing over there, same thing in my office, same thing on each side of the building. That's all it is. I mean, I literally, until somebody even asks or there's an incident, I don't go on it. I have 1,000 other
Well,
things to be
I'm
doing
not
than to be
worried.
staring at a camera.
Right, I'm just wondering, again, if we're talking about this in public.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes out there that's in the, a taxpayer saying, well, wait a minute, I'm looking at everybody's situation, not us personally or the employees. I'm looking at, what if somebody comes back and says, hey, you're hitting the HIPAA law and I don't want that camera shooting down. And again, I don't know the grade of your cameras. I haven't been there, haven't seen them. So I'm just making sure, like even at City Hall, we can only have the the stuff shooting so much. It can't be on people's personal information.
Yeah.
So,
Can't see any of that.
so I don't know what personal information the assessor's office is taking from people anyway. Any documents that they have in there are public documents. It would be subject, the documents themselves would be subject to FOIA requests anyway. Now, anything that's subject to a FOIA request, which is the only way the public would see it without hacking or something, they're subject to redactions for things like personally identifiable information, medical conditions.
yeah.
So it's not like there's something that the camera's gonna pick up that wouldn't be a public document in theory
Well,
anyway, even if it
again,
needs to be
I'm just-
redacted.
I'm hearing this from people that I know in HR systems and stuff like that have cameras at their business and companies, and there's like, we can't put them in, nurse's office, we can't put them in HR office, we can't put them in certain places because of the public for hit. So I'm just making sure we're gonna not have,
If it's, I think that if it's a matter of relocating the camera, or if that's something that seems to make sense, I don't
If
think
it's a-
anybody's against
If-
that.
If it's not a problem, where it's at is just the room. I mean, you can't even see like onto their desk and, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean,
I'm just asking questions.
Then we
right,
take a vote
I mean,
on this.
it's like, I don't know what the big deal is, sure, let's,
I motion we take a vote.
sure, all right.
I do have a question
Yes.
before we move on. So, I appreciate the fact of where the cameras are located as well. However, a bank, they have cameras all the time for bank robbers, etc. So I would really like a camera on our ladies as they come up to the window for safety. I mean, we have people that are angry because of their taxes. They're furious. They're losing their homes and everything, and if they come in there and come after and it's not their fault.
Well, that's a good point, because that camera that is on the vestibule wasn't covered up. That wasn't covered up. So wouldn't they have the documents there? Right?
That's what I'm wondering.
At the window.
Again, I'm just thinking and listening.
But why
to-
was that camera covered up?
I don't know.
Can I just
I don't know.
clarify a
Sure,
few things?
sure.
Number one, we do have privacy information. We have.
Use them.
We do.
It was on.
It's up.
So,
On?
yeah.
We do have privacy information. We have their incomes. We have their health records. Those are on the desk. They can be seen, they can be read. Period.
Okay.
That's the end of it.
No, the
That
end of
is
it is
not-
that that would
that
not
is
be
not-
produced in a FOIA. The only way that the public is going to see that
Are you gonna-
information.
You know how many of those we have? We're not talking about somebody going through a FOIA process. We're talking about somebody yanking it off of the internet.
How is, first
This
of
isn't
all,
on
is
the
this
internet.
camera system even
Anyway,
hooked
I'm
up
gonna
to
make
the
this
internet?
simple. Let me make this simple. You'll be hearing from my lawyer,
Okay.
and you'll be paying for it.
Just like last
And,
time.
Just
and,
like last time. Yeah, just like last time when you sued us
it'll
and
be
you
Bill
lost
Barry
twice.
this time.
You'll win this time, okay.
We will win this time.
Okay. Third time's the charm. Okay.
Sit down.
So, yeah,
I motion, we take a vote.
okay. Yep,
I'll second.
Margo seconds. All right, roll call.
Trustee Sewell?
Yes.
Trustee Crosser?
No.
Trustee Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. All right, vote carries. Moving on to the consent agenda, and this is approval of A through F, the minutes, the closed session minutes, township assessor's report, highway commissioner's report, clerk's report, and my report.
I motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
any questions? If not, roll call.
Trustee Sewell?
Yes.
Trustee Crosser?
Yes.
Trustee Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, moving on to the approval of our bills. You want to call on that, or you want?
My folders are right there.
Okay. Oh.
Well, I apologize. Do you have it?
Let me see here, the top page. Shoot.
No.
I got one.
You got the top page though? Of all the amounts?
Oh, wait a minute. I got it.
Yeah, okay.
I do have it. Okay, sorry, I apologize. Okay, so for general assistance, total bills were $4,638.98.
We'll vote on each one.
Each one,
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
okay.
Is she speaking in the microphone, please?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, but, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so general assistance, for the month was $4,638.98.
Okay. Roll,
I motion that we approve that amount.
okay,
Okay, I'll second it.
all right. Any no questions? Roll call?
Trustee Sewell?
Yeah.
Trustee Prosser?
Yes.
Trustee Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Then, road and bridge, $237,828.21.
I make a motion that we accept the road and bridge.
I'll second it.
And I didn't add in there's
equipment next.
equipment is next.
Yeah, that's a separate vote.
But that's a separate vote? I
Roll
knew
call.
that, I knew that.
You're right.
Trustee Sewell?
Yes.
Trustee Prosser?
Yes.
Trustee Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
And then road and bridge equipment was a total of $385,655.
Repeat that. Motion that we approve paying for the sweeper?
Yes,
And we sold the other one?
yes.
Awesome. What did we get for the other one?
Unfortunately, they aren't worth a lot when they get to that point, but, they were only gonna give us about 10,000 trade-in, and I think I got 28,000.
Yeah, and how long did we have that one for?
Oh, gosh, a long time. At least, I would say anywhere between 12 and 15 years. I
And so is it in the new sweeper?
Yes, yeah.
Sweet, well, looking forward to seeing it.
You got 28,000
Okay.
We need a second.
Any seconds on that, on the equipment? Second. Okay, roll call?
Trustee Sewell.
Yes.
Trustee Prosser.
Yes.
Trustee Crowell.
Yes.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes.
The the general town fund was $103,908.36.
Motion to approve. Motion to
Well,
approve.
mine,
Okay.
mine is really messed up. Mine says 700.
No, that, we sent out a new one.
Okay,
We sent out a new
I didn't get that.
Mike made a motion,
one. Okay,
and I'll second it.
all right. That's a typo.
What was the dollar amount?
103.
You have the correct amount, it was emailed to you.
I don't have it with me.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. 103,908.36.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, roll call.
Okay, trustee Sewell,
Yes.
trustee Prosser.
Yes.
Trustee Crowell,
Yes.
supervisor Cox.
Yes.
Okay, passes. The senior center, total expenses were $8,327.46.
I motion we accept that.
I'll second.
Okay. No questions? Roll call?
Trustee Sewell,
Yes.
trustee Prosser.
Yes.
Trustee Crowell,
Yes.
supervisor Cox.
Yes, and just want to let everyone know, on the senior center, unlike where we get our income from the others is from taxpayers, our senior center, you don't show what's coming in. A lot of that is food, so we have lunch money coming in. This is just what we have going out, what we vote on. Okay, and just so you know, the lunches are not funded by the taxpayers. Okay, that it's self-sufficient. We are able to do all the lunches. We had 144 the other day,
Wow.
$5 a lunch, and then we also have about 30 or so on a grant. They get free lunches. Okay, and we have not had to take a penny of that for lunch money or to use for food of taxpayers' dollars, and I'm very proud of that. Reports by officers. Kathy?
Authorization of bills. Oh, we just did that, never mind.
As Rob reported earlier,
The stuff going on in my neighborhood looks wonderful.
as Rob reported earlier, we got bids on Pat Drive and Robin Lane. Pat Drive area is all done. It's not just Pat Drive, it's Odom and, gosh, I get that other one. Orchid, yeah. Orchid that was done also, so that whole area is done. If you have time, drive out there, it looks really, really nice. Robin Lane's, they're getting ready to pave that. I don't know if it'll be this week or next week. Then our guys did a lot of gutter work on Robin Lane that was broken, and now they're working on gutter work out in Dieterding, so that next year I hope to finish that subdivision, paving it. Besides that, Lebanon Road, the project is still going on. I went out there, they're finally laying steel for the bridge. So, that's starting to come along, so I can't tell you how much longer it's gonna be. I wish it was done too, so, but anyway, that's coming along well now. What else? I ordered a new pickup truck too, cause our oldest one is, 16 years old and it's got 170,000 miles or something on it. So we got a new one ordered. I was ordering state bid on it, but then, someone told me to check with the manufacturer out of Iowa. So I called this manufacturer in Iowa, and for the same truck, I was able to save $8,000. So apparently they're,
Who's the Iowa manufacturer?
the name of the company, I'm not really sure. Someone helped me get this information and,
A pickup truck.
yeah.
It's still like
Chevy,
a Ford.
Dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Ford truck.
It's a Ford. It's a 4x4 crew cab.
So you mean a dealer?
It's a dealer,
Yeah,
but all he
well-
does is fleet work.
Well, I thought you said manufacturer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm thinking Chevy, Ford, Dodge.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so the dealer, and, so anyway,
Yeah.
we were able to
save money there. So he's a fleet dealer, and I think the fee to get it to us like 20-something $100, and it was still 8,000 less than
Less.
state bid.
Nice.
So I'll look up the name. To be quite honest with you, I've been out
For
a little
local
bit.
vendors
for
want the
first-
business, they gotta match the price.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, the, state bid, it surprised me, cause somebody was telling me that they're starting to think state bids aren't as low as they used to be. So that's why I looked into it, got that taken care of.
Tax added?
Yeah, so, but anyway, beyond that, like I said, we're just lots of mowing, we're really behind, we have 2 tractors down at the same time, unfortunately. I know one's fixed, I'm not sure about the other one. I know they're have to replace a windshield on it, it just shattered. So, anyway, otherwise than that, can't think of anything else we've got going on at the moment besides, it's a lot of gutter work out in Dietermain. That's cracked
Well,
and broke.
when was the last time
I have no
any of
idea.
that was even?
Yeah,
You
probably
did
when
the-
the
you
subdivision
did
was made.
The roadway, but I don't remember the gutters.
No, it was,
for a long
probably
time.
since it's been developed, so anyway, we're taking care of all that right now. That'll be a few month project, I'm sure, at least a few months.
When do I get sidewalks?
Keep dreaming, so, but anyway, that's about all I've got to say.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay. Pete. Thank you for coming tonight, Pete.
Sometimes.
Basically, it's that time of year when we gotta start doing our, probably a little later we'd like to, but we're starting our field work. I don't know if we'll get it all done because we only got 4 people and that's not gonna be enough, to tell you the truth. We have a big township, takes a lot of time to do them. We're also gonna have to probably do the racetrack. We'll have to do the whole racetrack, even though we only have part of it. It's gonna have to be one appraiser does the whole thing. And so we'll probably be the ones that do it because nobody else knows how to do it. And that's gonna be a major project. We have to get into state law. Plus, we have to also, new state law, I think we got about 18 months to complete it, all the non-taxable property in the township. So that's gonna include the police department, it's gonna include the schools, it's gonna include the churches, all these things that we've never kept records on. We're gonna have to go out and measure them and put a value on them. So you think that's easy? A lot of people think that's easy. All you do is do it like you do the rest of them. It isn't, because this is being done to collect money from the federal government if there's a major disaster, like they had down in North Carolina, Tennessee, and that. And the purpose of this is going to be to make those people whole, and for a church, or for a school, or for something like that. In appraising, there's 2 different kinds of, there's multiple different kinds of value, but there's 2 really principal kinds. Value and exchange, that's what we do when we do your house, or a regular office property, or something like that. Value and exchange, that's what people sell on the market for. But you don't do churches, schools, police stations, hospitals as value and exchange. They sell for pennies on the dollar compared to what they're really worth. If I was to give you an example, pick Holy Cross, you can pick a Catholic church or something like that. If I was to do it value and exchange, it'd be worth probably somewhere, I'm making a wild guess, 500,000 for the Catholic church. Maybe 600, maybe 400. Nobody wants them. That's value and exchange. But they're gonna be looking for value and use. That means you have to go through and itemize everything in them and value them out as what it would cost to build that thing new minus its depreciation. That's time consuming, and quite frankly, the legislature wasn't thinking because assessors aren't trained that way. I am, most of them aren't. I've been trained that way because I've had my private business, I've had to do them. And the difference in value is massive. And they want to maximize the value coming from FEMA. That's what the whole, when they said something about that a couple of years ago, I said, they're going to stick it on the assessors, and they did. So that means every one of these bike trail bridges, shelters in the park, you name it. Bond, they're not taxed. We don't keep we got records on some of them. Over time, we just measured some of the churches, never put a value on, but they're still not allowed to put values on, and re-inspect them too. But that's the government at work, so.
But this isn't unique to just the Collinsville Township.
No.
Every single township.
It's gonna be every single township in
Yep.
in the state.
Yep.
Now, but it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take a lot of money and a lot of time. And we're gonna have to have a staff that can do it, and a staff of suitable size that can do it. That's the fact of the matter, whether you like it or not.
So how often we have to do this, Pete? Like, once you get it done, is it still
It'll be every 4 years. You go back and do it again, you won't have to some of them you'll have to remeasure, because they've added on or taken parts off.
And just to clarify, this is a new process,
This is a new law they come up with, and I think it went into effect about 4, 5, or 6 months ago. And I think they said 18 months. Nobody's gonna get it done in 18 months. Nobody can get it done in 18 months. They couldn't even get the computer switched over in Cook County in 18 months, or in 5 years. How are they gonna get this done? It's a mess. It's, part of the thing we have to do. But it's,
Since you're here, I've had many questions over the weeks. Do you have time cards then, time cards, time
No.
clocks?
no, we know it's.
Well, Trustee Prosser, you said that they have time
Don't you
cards.
have some type of sheet or something? How do you keep track of your time?
We mark down when they have their vacation times, because they're there, we know when they're there, we can see under all one room.
So,
Really? Yes, really.
yeah,
And
so, Pete, so you have it on a sheet though of all your time, sick time or vacation?
they keep track of sick time and vacation, yes.
Okay.
So anyway, but on the minutes that you just approved, you said that they have time cards.
Well, time cards are time sheets, I
Okay,
thought
but anyway,
they have some way of
well
following.
then how, let me ask you this then how for nearly 3 years did an employee not come into the office and still get paid and all the benefits? How did that happen?
Well, it's pretty simple. She's worked for me for a lot of years, and she does her job. We send stuff to her at home. We keep track of, I don't keep track of any with jobs I give to the individual, because you can work on one house for 15 minutes, the next one might take you 4 hours or 5 hours.
What I'm saying, Jeannie, morning, Jeannie, what I'm asking is though, that what material did you give her to work on?
We would send over the property record card, she'd send it back.
Really, how did she send it back?
Well, somebody either went over and
By
picked it up or something.
snail mail or something?
No, somebody could go over and pick them up or whatever. I don't know.
So you're saying that every day for 3 years, that somebody would go to her house and drop work
I
off?
didn't say every day.
Well, but what I'm saying
We
is,
drop off a set of cards and we go back and pick up a set of cards.
so you're
We were
saying she was
satisfied.
out measuring, or what was?
No, she wasn't measured. She had health issues. I had her in the office because she had.
Well, then why then if she had health issues, then she would take sick leave or something like that?
She took her sick leave and all.
3 years? No, she didn't. It said that she had all this time.
I don't know all the particulars. I'd have to look it all up, okay? But.
Would you think that would that be
I
bad
was
on the
satisfied.
taxpayers?
You know what?
I'm just
No,
asking.
You're
I'm just trying to-
you're asking me if you think I screwed over the taxpayers, and no, I do not think I screwed. That employee provided a great deal of service to us over the years. We're doing a lot of things that we hadn't done before because of ideas she came up with.
But that's fine, but you are saying though, that she didn't come into the office for almost 3 years and she still got paid, again, $189,000.
If she was paid for work that was done.
But on the union contract, okay, you're supposed to be working 40 hours a week. That's the union contract.
I worry about the amount of work I get done.
Okay, that's, all right.
I've run that office for all those years, and we've been very efficient and effective at it. And we've done a good job, a really good job. We're probably one of the best in it. I go to a lot of assessment
We've heard that.
offices.
How do you gauge that? How do you gauge that you're the most effective than everybody else?
I've been to a lot of assessors' offices in my life, in my business.
Because
I've
as a
seen it.
taxpayer, the way
Yeah,
I gauge
So you
it,
want me to go, and you quoted to me something about St. Clair County. You wanna get rid of us so you can be like St. Clair County. Because I'm bringing East St. Louis to Collinsville, my high taxes. First of all,
What?
you
I've never
said that
said-
in your office,
Never.
so you can lie about it if you want to, I don't care.
okay, I've never
But,
said that.
anyway, first of all, I don't know,
Camera.
maybe you don't know it, East St. Louis is
Camera.
in St. Clair County. But they have a different form of government,
Holy shit.
number one. Number two, how you gonna, what do you say to the guy who calls you up from a town, a city or whatever, which I will leave nameless, and says, I know you're a tax assessor, and I also know you're an appraiser, and I happen to know this guy because I've done work for him. He says, I belong to this city, I want to, I'm involved in this city. We can document 500 houses in this city that are not paying taxes, because St. Clair County hasn't picked them up. You won't find that in our township.
Isn't that on the treasurer's office?
What's that?
You pay your taxes to the treasurer's
I'm
office,
not
not to
talking
the
about the
assessor's
treasurer's
office.
office, I'm talking about the assessor's office never picked them up in St. Clair County. And I've seen it in Chicago and Cook County. I've done research on house after house up there because of the kind of studies I do. And you'll find houses and you say, my God, it's sold, what did this thing sell for? And then you finally drive out to the thing, because I do go out and look at every one of these things I do for these statistical analysis, there may be 300 or 400 houses. And suddenly you look at the house and you realize the house that sold is not the ones that Cook County Assessor has report on. And it's not just the Cook County one, I don't pick on Cook County, but it's just so obvious.
My last question, because I did bring this up at the other meeting, and I think that it'd be, fair to ask you this in person. I don't think that it's right that the assessors, and this is not just for Collinsville, this is for every single assessor in the county, all right, should assess their own property. I think, and I've been talking with the county about this, that just as elected officials have to fill out a statement of economic interest, that assessors, deputy assessors, should say, hey, I own this house on, Oak Drive, and then that person doesn't assess their own property, okay? So let me ask you, what do you feel about that?
First of all, that's not the truth. The truth is, I don't know of any assessor, except maybe the ones who don't have
Your
anybody
office is
else.
what I'm saying.
talking about let's talk about the bigger townships where they have employees. They don't assess their own properties. One of the other people in the office assesses.
That's
and
what
they
I
never.
mean, Pete, those are your employees.
Who else is gonna do it?
The county. So then if you,
I had
everybody.
the county do my building down there, and I'll tell you what.
Okay, because
Now,
what
if
we're
I
looking.
I will tell you something else.
But
If
again-
you wanna give me what it's assessed for, you got a sale right tonight.
Yeah, no, listen, we see what they're assessed at, okay? I would love to know how, I'll offer you their money right now on some of your properties. I will buy them for what they're assessed for right now.
First of all, most of my properties are assessed as farmland.
Yes, I know. How do I get mine to be farmland?
You have to have a minimum of 20 acres, and basically it has to be declared by the state. And that was put in, by the way.
So you don't have to farm,
Oh,
and you
wait,
could have
no,
a
no,
house,
no.
you could have a big house, and you
No,
could pay just like
no, let's
$1,000.
come on now.
It's not that.
No.
You can have a house on your farm.
No, you can have a house on that farm and
Yes.
everything else.
Right.
And you know what? Why don't you, Mr. Sewell, who seems to have been very involved in going up to the supervisor assessment's office along with a county board member, trying to get my stuff removed from, and was told it wasn't right. That was put in the farmland assessment program before I was ever an assessor.
But what I'm saying
Now,
is,
wait a minute.
wouldn't it
You're
be
not
smart
done
to
yet.
take it
I'm
out
not
of
done
those
yet.
hands
I'm
and
not
let
done now.
somebody
I'm
else
not
do
done yet.
your
Wait a
properties?
minute. Let me finish. You always ask about people finishing, so let me finish. That piece of property that Mr. Sewell is talking about, if he goes out there in about 2 weeks and takes a look, he's going to see something called hay bales. That's HAYBALES out there. That is being farmed. That's classified as farmland. And as I said, that's all done by the state of Illinois. The values put on it is by the state of Illinois. I have absolutely no control over it.
I'm not accusing you, and nobody has, okay? What I'm saying is, this is for all, and I started with that. Even the assessors, the deputy assessors, I believe that whole office and the Jarvis Township, if you're an assessor and you have property and any of employees in those townships, the county should be doing those properties. Because never would they say, oh, well, I'm gonna overassess this property. Never. And I mean, so it only makes sense. It should be fair to everybody. So you don't agree, but that's okay. There's certain things we don't agree on.
You're gonna have, the whole state of Illinois is like that.
But the
It's
county
our
can
state.
pass something, I'll talk with them.
The county does assess his
Okay.
property. I have an email from Jessica
Okay.
W., Chief County Assessment Officer. If anyone would like to
Okay.
read it right here where it says that Madison
Okay,
County Assessor.
please,
No.
warning.
They have never assessed stuff in our thing outside of my building I know of. We've asked them, used to do the racetrack. They're backing off of that because they do not have the staff. They've cut it so far up there, there's no staff left to cut. And they don't have it, and they also will tell you that it will cost, if they took over our township like you want them to do, it's gonna cost us far more money than if we do it. Because they're
I don't
more
think so.
expensive than
Well,
we are.
not by the last figures, but when we were doing
I've
$580,000,
been
it
talking to
wasn't
the
even close.
supervisor of assessments, and that's
Right,
what she said.
right. Well, it was, now we're down to 300,000 a year instead of 580, so now it is close.
You're
Before
gonna be
it
going
wasn't
back
even
to the,
close.
you're gonna be going back
Okay.
up again because unless you just.
It's almost my
decide-
favorite time of night, so let's get out of here. Were you done? You got any more?
Pete, I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Pete, I have one question. It's me over here. So, how many of your ladies, the assessor's office, live in the township or the city limits? And, I mean, do they all live?
No, I have two who live outside the city limits and or outside the township, and I got two inside.
Okay. Thank you.
Pete, I do have a question too. I just wanted you to know that this isn't personal, this questioning
Talk to the mic.
that comes on, these questions that come to you are not personal. These are questions that come from our constituents. And I'm being 100% honest. Our constituents tell us that they are very, the word's afraid to approach or question their taxes or how they're being done or why they're being done a certain way, and question all of our offices. They have questioned all of our offices and all of our responsibility, our elected officials, our employees, and we're having to come up with these answers. And that's why we're asking you these answers. And honestly, I would tell you, your new office manager is really great about her reports. The new reports that she's giving to us, and as trustees, it's our responsibility to be honest and responsible to the constituents, and we ask these questions for the taxpayers. So I just wanted to share that.
Well, I've been there a long time, obviously. And I will tell you, I've had one person that ever threatened somebody in my office, all these years, okay? That was about 3 or 4 weeks into my first term. We got him finally settled down. He was gonna punch out one of my employees, who was about this tall. And, we haven't really had any problems for years and years and years. And you can smile all you want, but the problem started after he got elected. Quite bluntly.
But I don't
blunt
think
with
you're
it.
understanding what I'm
No,
saying.
I am
I don't
understanding.
think, they're not coming after you. They're afraid that if they ask questions of the assessor's office, that their taxes somehow will be increased.
They're not gonna be increased because they ask questions. We've had people come in and say, I think I'm overassessed. We go out and look at that house. We're not gonna be able to do that like we used to. But instead of sending them, making them go and hire an appraiser, you go to the board of review and spending $500 or $1,000, they can come to us, and when we had enough staff, and say, I think I'm overassessed, will you come out and look? And we will. We were one of the very few townships that ever did that. Typically, I think last year we had one person that went to the board of review or 3 people. We used to have, years ago, we used to have 500 and 600 because we didn't have enough staff. And we couldn't go out and see them. We go out, we look at them, most of the time we will find out we agree with them. but we have to see the inside. That's where the problems are. If they let us inside and let us look at them, you'd be surprised what you can't tell from the outside. They all look the same, but on the inside they're not. And most of the people, we don't have, I don't have any problems with it. Nobody's ever come to me and yelled and screamed at me, or we have most of those people who come to us are extremely nice because they know we will listen to their story, and a lot of assessors just say, here's your board review form, go hire an appraiser. I don't think that's taken care of. And I think you better start figuring out, when they start having to go get appraisals, you need to add that amount of money being spent onto our budget, because that's what they're spending more.
Well, I want to invite you to each and every meeting we meet on the second Wednesday of each month. You said nobody ever comes and tells you about it. Well, they come and tell this board, and they try to find you in your office. Can't find you, month after month after month. So come,
Well, that's not always
and that's
true.
great. So that'd be great if you start coming to the meetings. I'd appreciate that.
But we do look into everything. If they try to call us and try to tell us they got a problem, we will come out and look at it.
Okay. Moving on to Senior Center, just give you a quick update. Our numbers have been really up lately. Again, CSC celebrated 250, had 144 people in here that day. It was very patriotic. We've had dances, we've had just all kinds of activities, shuffleboard, skee ball, to get people socializing, meeting new friends, getting them out of the house. This is a great facility for seniors. And if you're 55 plus, come on in. Linda, you have anything for clerk?
I attended my second session of the I attended the second session of the Leadership Academy at University of Illinois, and then I worked with Derek and Gabby to schedule a property fraud protection seminar on July 24th at 12:15 here at the Senior Center. That's become a huge issue there, and so all the training we can get out there is good. And then I did attend the 250-year birthday. It was a lot of fun. This place was packed out. The people just had a great time. And then I'm still learning. I've done tons and tons of filing, and tons and tons of filing. And
Yeah.
but I'm getting there. And so anyway, just bear with me. I'm trying hard. So.
And I just want to say Linda has done an amazing job. That office when she got in was a little messy, and she's cleaned it up. And like she said, she's been going through all old files and reorganizing everything. I skipped the trustees. Do you guys have anything?
No.
Okay. I had a sheet for some supervisors' comments, but I just want everybody to know the supervisors' comments are on our website, collinsvilletownship.org. I don't put every little thing that goes on day to day. I put some of the big things that happen in the township, but I invite you to look at that under the transparency. One thing I do want to mention, because I just wanted, I'm working on this with the city, but I brought up, we have a stop sign out here that is covered up by this tree. And I talked to the city about a month ago, and the tree's still there. It's covering up the stop sign. We've had 2 accidents out here. 1 car got totaled. It is a matter of time until somebody is going to get hurt because you can't see this stop sign, and this is a very dangerous intersection. I asked, with all the spending that we see around town with the cutouts and things, I said it would be very useful to have a crosswalk, especially since we're going to be redoing this parking lot over here, and we have 144 people. Again, we don't have enough parking. People are crossing the street. To have a stoplight crosswalk where you can it would make it, hit the button, and it would be so much safer. So I put that request out, and I would like to see that happen. I also, in my report, I know that we renewed another bond, and I looked just for the last 2 years, this township has earned over $250,000 in interest on our investments. All right, that's better than we've ever done before, better than even when I started. When I first started, when I was a trustee, I think it was under $10,000, okay? We were getting 0 interest on anything. So, yeah, that should be applauded. So, anyway, because that's your money, that's less taxes that we have to do. But anyway, I invite you to check that out, and again, anybody has any questions throughout the month, feel free to ask me, okay? So, motion to adjourn?
Do we have a closed session?
No closed session tonight.
Then I motion we adjourn to go home.
Okay,
Second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
You all have a good night.